So we are live in round 9 of the TCGPlayer Max Point Championship today with, I'm Frank Lepore here with Caleb Durward. This is Adam Yurchick on the right. This is his opening hand. He actually just played this on his turn 1.
This is turn 2, though. He won the die roll. He dumped his hand turn 1. Ben Weinberg played a Vault Scourge, passed it back. On Adam Yurchick's turn 2, he served with the Vault Scourge. Ben declined to trade, and then Yurchick played Etched Champion on his second main phase.
Etched. We're going to keep going through it.
Yeah.
And, yeah, look, this is the kind of explosive start from Infinity you would expect with, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Adam has 7 cards out on his turn 2.
And it looks like Ben Weinberg is lacking a second land, but he
a
still
little
has...
bit behind. But he has the...
He still has stuff to play.
Yeah. Another Vault Scourge.
Second Vault Scourge. So because he needed the Vault Scourge with Springleaf Drum for his mana development, it makes sense that he would not trade it.
Correct.
When Yurchick attacked.
Yeah, you want the creature out so you can actually have your second mana.
Right.
Yep, and he does
He's
decide
2 life, so he's down to 15 already.
1 from Vault Scourge.
4
from
from casting,
the
too.
Vault Scourge. No, he should be at 16 because he attacked, didn't he? No, he used
it for with
he's at
Springleaf
15.
Drum, yep. Meanwhile, Adam Yurchick has paid 2 life, but he's gained 1 back, so he's at 19. We have Yurchick 19, Ben Weinberg 15. Yurchick deciding what he's going to play on his third turn.
I mean, I think he only has like 2 cards in hand right now anyway.
But there are still decisions.
Yeah, that's true. Not discounting that, definitely.
This is one of the matchups where Master of Ethereum is way better than Etched Champion.
Also, one of the most of the decisions in Affinity are your activations, really. I think, like when to activate,
I could see that.
Which Nexus, what to equip, what to use Ravager counters on, if anything. You know, like there's a million decisions.
Right, and the decisions you make impact
like right there.
what you can do later down the road. Because now he's not going to have that extra Mox Opal mana on future
Correct.
turns.
But he felt like it was relevant right now.
Which is interesting.
Why do you think he wanted to have that mana up?
Well, the Blink Moth Nexus can activate to
Correct.
pump his Ink Moth.
Oh, that's right.
So if Weinberg, for example, were to put his Vault Scourge in front of the Ink Moth, he would just lose his Vault Scourge for no value. And it looks like Adam Yurchick declines to pump. Yurchick going up to 18.
Oh,
and it looks like
Yurchick,
Weinberg's going down to 12.
Another Vault Scourge. Apparently, this is the Vault Scourge mirror match.
And Yurchick
And
got to pay black mana for that Vault Scourge too.
We got some listings, some life up here.
Sure.
What are you showing right now?
No, that's right. I had on Ben Weinberg's life pad. I thought that was an 18 up at the right, but it was not. He was counting. It's 1 poison.
1 P.
The P
yeah.
with P for poison. Yep. So it's correct. Like your chick is at 22. Round 9 of 9.
9 of 9.
It's been a long day.
It has been a long day. Got here at around 11. Been here since so for 10 hours about.
Voice starting to go.
Voice is starting to go a little bit. It's a little scratchy right now.
It's a grind for the players too, though.
Oh, definitely. No, definitely. And it's more mentally exhausting for them.
If you're Ben Weinberg, do you attack here?
I don't know.
Apparently
it's kind of
not.
like just a life swing, really. You're just.
It's
trading.
not really a life swing. You'd be trading the Vault Scourges.
Well,
and
right,
you'd
but
be gaining a
but
pile
you're
off the
getting,
cranial plating.
yeah, that's what I mean. You're getting like 6. It's a life swing for Ben, and then he gains like 5. You know?
Sure. One reason to attack, I think, is because your chick is tapped out and doesn't have a Galv Blast.
Yeah.
Whereas now your chick has a live draw towards a Galv Blast to shut off this Vault Scourge from interacting in combat.
Do we know how many Galvanic Blasts are in your chick's main deck? Is
I
it
believe
2?
they both play 2, but let me check here. Yeah, your chick has 2, as we saw earlier. Weinberg actually plays the full 4.
Oh, interesting.
And only 3 Thoughtcasts, so. But they both agree there should only be 2 Mem Knights in the list.
That seems right.
I agree.
I mean, it's fine early, but like
kind of an air card.
Yeah,
you don't want to draw too much of it.
Yeah, definitely don't.
When the format was fresh, I think it took people a bit to figure that out.
Yeah, because it's a free dude. It's 0 mana. You're like, oh, this is great.
I'll just start with 4 of
I'll
these.
have 3
4
in my
Ornithopters.
opening hand, and it'll be great.
Yeah.
And then you don't, and then it's just terrible. To
Or
top
you
deck.
do, and they pyroclasm you, or
And you're like, oh, 3
play
for 1.
anything at all. Or they play like a
Wah,
1-2,
wah, wah.
a Deathrite Shaman on turn 1. Your
Yes.
Meta Knight just looks stupid.
No, you can still get in for 2 points and then 1 point.
Not ideal.
Not ideal at all, no.
So Adam Yurchick sending in the dudes here. I think if I'm Ben, I'm definitely trading off this Vault Scourge. Probably with, I guess you can't trade it with Edge of Champion because the champion has protection from black.
It's black, yeah.
Yeah. But you can trade off with the other Vault Scourge or the man land.
And if Adam draws like a cranial plating, he's just in such a commanding position because of his Etch Champion.
And he does, in fact, trade with the man land. So they swap some life around. Weinberg gaining 5. Weinberg gaining 5. Yurchick gaining 1. Weinberg also taking 3, so he's getting 2 total. Go up to 14. Or no, 15, right. 5, not 4.
What do we imagine is in Weinberg's hand when he hasn't, like...
Huh?
What do we imagine is in Weinberg's hand when he hasn't played...
Clunky cards.
Yeah, he's not really playing
Cards
much.
he couldn't vomit onto the board.
Yeah.
Like we see Signal Pest. I saw a Fogcast.
Yeah, okay.
Not efficient spells.
Right. Spells that don't really do much for your position.
He really
right
needed
now.
like Mox Opal, that sort of thing. Maybe an Ornithopter to brick your chick's Vault Scourges.
Yeah.
Like something to block them.
Whereas Yurchick has just enough Ornithopters.
Signal Pest plus equip here. With that last block, Weinberg traded off a threat and he gained some life, so he bought himself a little bit of breathing space
Yeah,
here.
it's about a turn.
A little bit of time to play that Thoughtcast, which is really what he needs. I probably lead with the Thoughtcast, actually.
Thoughtcast an instant or a sorcery?
Sorcery. Oh, he's not playing it at all.
No, he's playing a Steel Overseer and then
I
activating
like
it
that,
to
developing my board.
Yeah, the Steel Overseer could be real good, especially with the Vault Scourge. And when Ben Weinberg's the only
I might have
one
been
with the
greedy,
cranial
though,
plating.
and Thoughtcasted off the Steel Overseer tap
That
to,
is
like,
a
maybe
little
hit a
greedy.
land drop.
But I feel like
Because he hasn't played a land here.
But I feel like if you have... Oh, that might be greedy, though. But the deck, how many lands does the deck run? Like 20?
Not that many. We can count real quick. 8, 12, 16.
That
But
is
then
low.
there's the quad Mox Opal on top of that, so it's actually like 20
It's
sources.
like 20, yeah.
Minus 2 for the 2.
I think he drew
to
a
the
cranial
displayed.
plating.
Yeah, that's not a very good draw. He already has a cranial
Yeah.
plating. And none of his threats are resilient at all. Yurchick, however, has run out of gas, and now Ben Weinberg has an active Steel Overseer that should
that's-
take over this game.
That's one of the things with Affinity. Like, if you
Okay,
don't
now he's
draw either cranial
thoughtcasting.
plating or if you don't draw, like... pretty much cranial plating. Like, you can definitely run out of gas. Like, it's a definitely legitimate thing. 'Cause all
But
your
like,
guys are
but like
tiny
in
amount.
this game, for
Yes,
example,
I'm at-
cranial
Steel
plating isn't
Overseer.
very good. Steel Overseer, incredibly good.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean. Like
One of the reasons that I played Zoo for a while in Modern was because you were playing all these 1-mana 2/3s that can just attack into Affinity's creatures. Because Affinity has all of these, like, all these 1/1s, all these O2s and 1/1s and whatnot. So if your creatures just outclass theirs and you're
Yeah.
also swarming the board, you have an advantage.
Scourge
Yeah.
it, bro.
Weinberg is just taking control of this board.
Yeah, he's gonna actually steal Overseer and he's gonna be in real good shape.
Very good shape.
How big is
It's
that?
hard to imagine your chick coming back into this game.
Yeah, and it looked like Adam had a real big advantage in the beginning too.
Right, yeah.
Boink. Pumpsies.
Okay, so he's getting a trade. But again, Ben Weinberg is gaining a lot of life here.
Yeah. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, that guy's like a 10 power right now. Ben's at 11. What does he go up to? Let's see.
It's actually 12 or 13 power.
You sure?
Yeah. I think 12. I was just glancing. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I might have been counting your chick's land because it's over
Yeah, no,
there
that's
on top
not-
of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's 11.
Okay, so I was one off and you were one off. I said 10, you said 12. It appears we're evenly matched. 22. Yep, goes from 11 to 22. God, untapping again to Steel Overseer might just be game. Like,
I think it's already game.
Yeah, it seems like it might be. Especially, I didn't even see that Vault Scourge. It was below his lands.
A plating from Yurchick could buy him a lot of time.
Arcbound Ravage was not terrible.
It's not bad. It lets
know if it's
him
gonna-
convert those Ornithopters into some counters on a Vault Scourge.
Vault Scourge, yeah.
So he'll be able to eat one of Ben Weinberg's attackers and gain a lot of life.
Yeah, and
the
one
next
thing about this matchup is you know that your opponent's going to have very little removal for your creatures. If
Just
they're-
the Gal Blast,
Yeah, just the Galvanic Blast. If they're tapped out, even like you have a pretty big window to put them on a creature and know that it's not if it's 5/5 or greater, they're not going to be able to kill it.
Yep. Weinberg drawing for turn. I actually think Affinity was a very good choice for this tournament.
Interesting.
I think you're inherently strong against Merfolk,
Yeah.
as I mentioned earlier. And then, as we also saw earlier, you have game against Jund. You can just play an Etched Champion
Yeah.
and
they
ride it
can't
to
do anything.
victory.
They can't
Yeah.
block it. They can't kill it.
And I think those are the other two most popular decks in this tournament.
Jund and Merfolk.
Yeah. So I would not be surprised to see some strong Affinity performances
Tomorrow.
carrying some of these players to a top 8.
I could definitely see it. And just don't forget, we are starting tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So that is when round 1 begins. We will be here live.
I'll be there. Frank will be here.
At 9 a.m.
You guys should be here too.
You should. I would recommend it because I think we had a good time tonight, and I'd really like to see you guys again. And
You're making this sound like an awkward date.
it's I just think we have something really special, and I think we deserve a chance. I think you should give us a chance. So you guys head on back at 9.
This
9
is interesting.
a.m.
Yurchick is not going. He is not pumping the Vault Scourge as I thought he would.
I'm trying to make this awkward for our listeners.
And I'm not. I'm
And you're
trying to comment on the game.
You're trying to tell us about
there
Magic.
are important things happening.
Agreed.
The Ornithopter. It's important for the Chumper to block the Vault Scourge because he can sacrifice it. Yeah, before damage like that.
So no life gain.
And prevent Ben Weinberg from gaining a pile of life.
Your tiny Baneslayer angels are have been neutralized momentarily. Oh, Adam, what happened?
I still like eating a Signal Pest there. I don't know. Like you take more damage, but you start gaining control of the board position.
Eating one with what?
You sacrifice some things to the Arcbound Ravager, move him to the Vault Scourge.
Interesting.
And eat it in
I
combat.
think he wasn't ready to commit to throwing away.
It's a lot of resources to commit. That's for sure.
And it's like, and you don't get the sacrifice outlet anymore, and
Sure. So after this activation of Steel Overseer, your chick has one more draw, and then the Steel Overseer will get out of Galvanic Blast range.
that seems good.
Pretty important.
Yeah, that seems pretty. I mean, Adam only has 2
Because
in the
right
deck,
now,
but
your chick could, draw a Thoughtcast, draw, Galv Blast, as well as some more gas, and actually claw his way back into this game.
What is he? Does how many manlands does Weinberg have? 2 or 3?
3.
3.
There's one on top of a Darksteel Citadel at the bottom of the screen.
What's the other one? Is that just a new Blink Moth on top of an old Blink Moth?
There's 2 Blink Moths, 1 Ink Moth, I believe.
Okay.
Or I might just be. You might be right. I'm not familiar with the new art, so
that's fine.
they could just be triple Blink Moth.
He could just activate all of those and then just have a real formidable army of manlands with counters on them.
Sure. I think he's trying to keep blockers to make a Yurchick attack. Because if Yurchick can attack with the Vault Scourges and gain life.
Yeah. Especially after you put the Arcbound Ravager counters on.
Whereas if Ben Weinberg makes this attack, it's awkward for Yurchick to mount a counterattack. All right. And that's the game. Weinberg up 1-0 against Adam Yurchick.
Yeah, I think Adam.
He just started counting for cranial plating, and Adam scooped up his cards.
1,
so,
2,
yeah,
3,
right,
4.
right, right.
Okay, all right, I get it. We'll just go to the next
And
game.
these manlands, just pulls them up.
Don't forget that I have 3 creatures hidden in these lands.
As we mentioned earlier, Yurchick has 3 Ancient Grudges, whereas Weinberg only has 2. Other notable differences are...
Definitely seems like a key player in this matchup.
Ancient Grudge,
Yeah.
definitely important. Yurchick has a 3rd Galvanic Blast in the sideboard that's probably going to come in. It seems like a good one. I'm trying to see if Weinberg has anything else. Yeah, he has a wear and tear. So he has 2 Ancient Grudge, 1 wear and tear.
And speaking of...
And a few Dismembers might be good enough.
Speaking of cards...
Speaking of cards in general, nice segue.
If you're going to... Yeah, it's easy, it's an easy one to make with Magic. If you're guys buying cards, TCGPlayer.com is going to net you the lowest price on your singles because we have hundreds of vendors, and they're all competing for your dollar. So they're heavily incentivized to give you the lowest price. Otherwise, you're just going to buy it from a different vendor. And also we have specific vendors that with $25 or more purchased, you get Super Saver shipping, which is free shipping.
That's awesome.
So,
hard to hate on free shipping.
I don't think anyone's ever been like, no, I insist on paying for my shipping. So TCG Player has the largest inventory ever, or not ever, but anywhere. And shop with us and get the lowest price, basically. That's
and it has all of the best
what it comes
stores.
down to. Yeah, it does.
Everybody that I would buy from
Right,
otherwise.
exactly.
All competing for each other.
Toad,
It's great.
Channel Fireball, whatever.
Channel Fireball, Hot Sauce Games.
They all sell through us, so
MTG Card Market.
you might as well go to
lot of
TCG
great
Player
stores.
and find the lowest price. It just makes sense.
You can have an order with like all of the best stores at once.
Yeah, with literally like four different stores on the same order, and they'll all
all competing for prices.
Yeah. And Larry Swayze tweeted to us. He said, "I disagree with Caleb being scum. He ships me lists all the time. Would scum do that? No way."
That's a strong argument, Larry.
I can't argue with him. He might be right.
Oh, you could certainly argue with him.
But I wouldn't. He's been very pleasant. I like Larry.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Larry's a great guy.
He's a funny dude. I like making Curb Your Enthusiasm jokes with Larry.
He gets them. He's been there.
He does.
He's watched the show.
I think he has.
It's a good show.
It is. Oh, it's an excellent show. I'll pretty much watch anything that Larry David does. He's a funny guy.
He was a Seinfeld writer for a while, correct?
He created Seinfeld. Him and Jerry Seinfeld.
So I was correct.
Yeah.
Technically right.
I'm pretty sure he wrote the show for its entire run. The most popular show, the most popular sitcom ever created.
Well, it was so good. It was just so good.
Oh, it was excellent.
I one of the things, I don't know if you've ever seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I have, yes.
I think it's a more modern, way scummier Seinfeld.
It's definitely way scummier. That's true.
But it has the same feel to it. Like there's not
It's
really
a
like
show
a
about nothing.
Yeah, it kind of is. And like it's just a group of friends like all being dicks to each other.
The difference is I feel like, and that's not to say it, Always Sunny is bad, but when I'm watching Seinfeld, I feel like, okay, I've definitely gotten into that situation. I've definitely done that. When I watch Always Sunny, I'm like, I would never get into that situation.
So it's less relatable?
It's less relatable. I don't think that necessarily
Maybe
makes
if
it
you've
less
lived
funny.
in Philly though.
Have you?
No, I'm just
But
saying,
we're just saying
we
we
might
have no
relate
frame of
more
reference.
if
Okay.
we'd lived there and be like, oh yeah,
That's
I
fair.
did sleep in a garbage can. No, I'm just kidding.
Adam just pulled the old present my deck. You're not done shuffling. I'll shuffle a little bit more.
Sure, I mean, if your opponent's getting that extra shuffle value, you have to do something,
Yeah,
right?
you might as well get it as well.
There's also a thing like in the later stages of a tournament, you want to do something active to keep your brain active.
That's true.
If you're not actually doing anything, if you're just like staring at your opponent, it's very easy to zone out, and your
But-
brain slows down when you do that.
On the other hand, if you're just staring at your opponent, it's very easy to creep them out and tilt them as well. So I think that's a benefit as well.
But I was making a serious point. Like I think that's a large reason why people flick their cards, because it helps you stay focused.
People what?
Why people flick their cards?
Oh, yeah, okay.
They're staying focused if they do that.
Yeah, it's just a nervous reaction that's like keeping you,
It's not necessarily nervous. It's just like
Right.
staying physically active will keep your brain active.
interesting.
And at the later stages of a tournament, like you're exhausted.
Yeah, you
need
are.
to stay awake.
Yeah.
Like when Saito slaps himself, he does it for a reason. It's not because he likes slapping himself.
Well, I didn't think he had like.
I mean, maybe
Tourette's
he
or
does.
something.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's funny. I never thought about it that way.
Well, I mean, have you made it to the later stages of a tournament before?
I see what you did there. That's funny.
It can be hard to relate.
Oh my god, I mean, it's not like living in Philadelphia, I guess. So. Boop. Ben Weinberg delicately places a die on his.
We
on
should
Adam's
probably
Archon
stop giving Philadelphia crap. They haven't done anything to deserve this,
haven't they?
except for, I mean,
They raised the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
there are the Eagles.
Born and raised, bro. That's where he spent most of his days.
That's all you're giving us?
I didn't want to keep going. I feel like other people are going to keep going, right?
So we have two very similar starts here. Both players have a piece of mana development. Ben Weinberg's is free. Adam Yurchick's cost him one. But they both gone Vault Scourge into Arcbound Ravager. Very similar openings.
Yeah. I'll just use a Mox
like
instead. You use a Springleaf Drum, I use a Mox. It's whatever.
It's like it's a mirror match or something.
It might be. It's like they're playing the same cards in their decks. Ben does have one more manland than
And we see
Adam does.
it looks like we're going to see a trade here. Interesting, because Weinberg has a Galv Blast in his hand.
Yeah.
So he could force Yurchick to do some crazy things by like just pointing it at the Arcbound Ravager
Yeah.
here.
I think they're just going to the... It's like who blinks first, kind of. It's like, are you going to sack yours?
Although if he lets the trade happen,
Yeah.
and then he would for sure be able to kill it afterwards.
The Ravager, you mean? To deal 4?
I suppose Galv Blast is going to kill it either way. Oh, he's just holding it. He's like, he's being disciplined. He's saying there's a better time for me to use this Galv Blast.
He can't tap the Mox right now.
Oh, that's true. He no longer has Metalcraft,
Yeah, he
so
doesn't
the
have
Galv Blast
Metalcraft.
would only do 2 anyway.
Right.
He could have floated a red if he had wanted to make that play.
But in response, like, you'd have to use it after the Vault Scourge died, in which case...
Yeah, I think if he was going to Galv Blast it, he'd have to do it
case
while the Vault Scourges were still in play.
In which case you'd have a red, but you still wouldn't have Metalcraft, so you're still only dealing 2. You can't float the Metalcraft.
The problem with Galv Blasting there
Oh, interesting.
would be that
That seems really strong.
that is very good. As I was going to say, the problem with Galv Blasting before the Vault Scourges have died is that gives him the opportunity to sacrifice the Ravager to put the counter on the Vault Scourge and eat the opposing one in combat.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily a good play there either. It looks like Weinberg had no good plays for his
Yeah,
Galv Blast.
I mean, that's the thing about Ravager, though. Like, once you try to remove it, if they have another creature, they can pretty much just benefit. Like, they can just benefit from that.
Adam Yurchick serving with an Inkmoth Nexus.
For 1 right now.
1 poison.
That Signal Pest is going to be annoying next turn. If Ben can't get another artifact to play. I see a Thoughtcast in his hand.
There's actually double Thoughtcast. Double Thoughtcast Galv Blast, which is not really helpful for him because he doesn't have access to blue or red mana.
Right.
And the artifacts that he can play might just get blown up by that Ancient Grudge that Yurchick still has in his graveyard.
Sitting in his graveyard. Sitting in the Grumper.
It's going to be a very difficult game for Ben Weinberg to win.
This matchup might take longer than we thought.
Worse things have happened.
No, of course.
I don't mind watching excellent Magic being played. Like I said earlier, I have the utmost respect for both of these players. Plating, go. Not very exciting. He wants to save the Signal Pest in his hand for later, I guess because it's cheaper. So he wants to use the expensive card this turn.
Yeah, that makes
earlier.
sense.
One thing he could have done is gone Signal Pest, animate my manland, and then tap the Mox Opal for a Thoughtcast, hopefully drawing into another land drop maybe. The problem with that is that leaves... I guess that's a fine line. Signal Pest serving. Triggering Battlecry, pumping that Inkmoth up to 2 Infect, and the Ravager is getting in damage 2. Yeah, I like this sacrifice here, sacrificing the Springleaf Drum. Yurchick has a well-developed mana base already. He doesn't really need it necessarily. And in the end, he decides not to sacrifice it. Also respectable. He's not really under any pressure from his opponent.
No.
In a large part, thanks to the Ancient Grudge in his graveyard.
Yeah, it's just sitting pretty. Like it just.
I wonder
no
what
rush.
that last card is in Yurchick's hand.
He's keeping it well guarded.
If it was a land, he probably would have played it.
Yeah, it makes sense because you want to activate all the things you can. Activate all the things.
Someone's excited.
Someone is excited. We're
Hearing
having a good
some
time.
whoops from the crowd. Some excited people getting their day 2.
Maybe.
I think you have to X into to day 2 this event, so.
Brad
pretty
Nelson was
steep
at
cutoff.
X2 before this round, so who knows?
Hopefully he got there. I'd like to see that standard deck some more.
Yeah. Surprising.
Weinberg tapping some cards to Thoughtcast. Oh, right. My apologies. I was talking about how he could have Thoughtcast the other turn, But just because he could have turned on Mox Opal doesn't mean that he could have played Thoughtcast. I don't think he had enough affinity.
No, I think he had like 3.
Yeah, my apologies for that, guys. Been a long day.
Amateur hour over here.
Amateur hour. Yeah, Ben Weinberg leaving open Glimmer Void for Galv Blast with Metalcraft. Yurchick activating, sending some guys in.
Yeah, just throw that guy in front of the signal pest.
Huh?
What? Is he blocking with
Both
you?
of the 0 power creatures
are blocking one another?
Yeah. So with that block, he's kind of hoping that Yurchick gets greedy and does something silly with Arcbound Ravager.
Like, I'll put the counters on the signal
right,
pest.
Yeah. Yurchick's been around the block before, though. He's not falling for such shenanigans.
His first robot rodeo.
Robot rodeo. That's good. It is a robot rodeo. Weinberg is ready. He is going to cast this Galvanic Blast. What do you target, though?
Oh, God, it seems really difficult. Like,
it kind of makes sense. I mean, it's going to be sacrificed to the Ravager, but at least then he only has damage to worry about as opposed to Infect plus damage.
Yeah, and especially with Ben having 5 Infect counters already.
Right, yeah. Seems very important. I like leading with Thoughtcast here, if I'm Ben.
Oh, yeah, because you want to maximize your options.
Right, yeah, see everything first.
And he agrees.
Those are some good draws. Is that a Spellskite?
I don't know. Is that good?
That is good because of Yurchick's Arcbound Ravager.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, right.
That's
yeah.
real good. I'll just put the counters on my guy.
And the Ancient Grudge in Yurchick's graveyard.
Oh, yes.
So Yurchick will probably respond to Spellskite by blowing up the Cranial Plating. But that means that your Weinberg doesn't have to invest mana in equipping the plating to get to bait the Ancient Grudge. That's very relevant. Yurchick given time to respond here. All right. It looks like the Spellskite has resolved. Cranial Plating is finally equipping.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3,
now
4,
he can afford to.
So it's a 5/2.
All right. Yurchick had a Gelf Blast of his own.
That seems better, actually, because now he can still use the Ancient Grudge on the Cranial Plating.
Right, yeah, I like that.
Ben's board is pretty sparse now.
Delia 1. But he still has cards to deploy.
Yeah, that's true. But he has no mana this turn. He has 1 Glimmer Void, so...
It's not no mana.
It's 1 mana.
It's a lot of mana in Affinity.
True, that's fair.
He can play like over half of his deck
that's like
with
his
1 mana.
average. Yeah, that's his average cost.
Second Signal Pest.
Bugs, man, let me tell you.
Huh?
Bugs.
What about bugs? What are you talking about?
Signal
Oh,
pests. Those
sure,
are bugs,
sure.
man.
I didn't know.
Get your head in the game. Get your head in the flavor game. I'm in. Get in there.
Serving for 3, 4. Yeah, so I think Yurchick probably should have sacrificed his a Springleaf Drum a while ago.
Yeah.
But this was fine. He ended up losing a manland.
I mean,
so it might have been important.
Especially when he has 2.
Well, I mean, he just drew the second Springleaf Drum.
Oh, okay.
So now it's more clearly correct than earlier.
Interesting.
Yeah. Weinberg untaps, thinks. He has 2 cards. Pretty interesting board state. He definitely has a manland advantage on Yurchick, which might matter a lot due to the double Signal Pest.
Oh, yeah, definitely relevant. Those are 3 ones.
It looks like he left Blinkmoth Nexus back. Oh, it's pumping. With the battle cry triggers on the stack, he's going to give it +1/+1. Oh, a second Ancient Grudge. That's so brutal.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yurchick has played his second Ancient Grudge of the game. It's going to be very hard for Ben Weinberg to grind through. He has certainly drawn enough cards, though.
Signal Pest dot deck over here.
Yeah, the one thing Weinberg has going for him, despite facing down double Ancient Grudge this game, is the fact that he's played so many Thoughtcasts. So he can actually just grind through it.
Yeah, he's drawing about 4 extra cards, and like the Signal Pests are all giving +3/+3 to non-Signal Pest creatures and +2/+0 to Signal Pests. So I mean that's all.
Yeah, +3/+0 and +2/+0.
That's a lot of damage. That
it is a lot of damage
potentially dealt, especially when he has.
There goes the second Springleaf Drum.
He only has 1 man land left, so.
I like that sacrifice.
That's a good dude.
Probably liked it better even earlier. Like if you think about it, when he had sacrificed the Springleaf Drum when I mentioned it the first time, the Ravager's gotten in like 3 or 4 hits.
Yeah.
Like
he might be
Yurchick
on
might be in Gulf Blast range, which is very relevant.
Yeah, might have been. Yeah, might be on. He might be at 4. Ben.
The game would have. The game, like we didn't know that these draws would have happened though. So
right, of course, and you can't prepare for that.
Right. If Yurchick had drawn like say a string of Thoughtcasts, it might have been more correct to have more mana sources.
I feel like it's real hard for Ben to come back here just because Adam has that Ancient Grudge sitting in his graveyard.
Well, it means that Weinberg needs to leave 2 blockers to not die, but he has that. He can leave the Ornithopter back and the Blinkmoth Nexus, and serve with triple Signal Pest.
Just deal 6.
Deal 6, put him to 8. And then Ben's drawing live to another Galblast, his second, or a Ancient Grudge of his own, would also put this game away. Is I think 2 cards in hand, some difficult decisions. Looks like he's making the attack that I thought he would. Triple Signal Pest, hit you for 6.
So it drops Adam to 8.
Yeah, it looks like Ben Weinberg, who we thought was behind,
is a little ahead again.
At points in both of these games, might pull this off.
Adam says.
Usually it's not a bad thing to pick up infect points and damage.
Yeah.
Because it means that your opponent's attack steps haven't been efficient. You win a lot of games with a mixture of both. I like the interaction between Steel Overseer and Arcbound Ravagers.
Yeah, that's pretty
random
good.
1/1 counters.
Especially when you can turn them into when they're basically modular counters, just being added for free.
If Burn ever became a super thing in Modern, I'd want to play like the White Ordeal out of Affinity because it'd be funny.
Oh, just gain 10.
A difficult card to play because they can just like smash the smithereens it or whatever.
Yeah, but you wouldn't even have to like.
But it's so funny.
Yeah, all you need is one attack. You just slap it on when they're tapped out and then then attack.
Although why would they tap out?
Right, no reason to on your turn anyway.
But if you could like maybe get 3 counters on a Etched Champion, I mean you're probably winning that game anyway. Yurchick sends in a couple guys. The Ravager is definitely lethal here. I like blocking with the Ornithopter. Jump the Ravager, 1 more turn. Looks like Weinberg has different ideas. Oh, I suppose the Ornithopter can block the Signal Pest, and then he's not taking any damage. That could be a thing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Also, if Adam doesn't have any flyers, the Ornithopter and the 3 Signal Pests get in there for 9 next turn.
Yeah.
Which is lethal.
Is it? I'm just teasing you.
You're not very funny anymore. You used to be. And now you're not.
It's later on in the day.
It is.
My jokes have are starting to wear thin.
God, this guy's so annoying.
That's fair. Yurchick considering his options. Okay. He is going to Ancient Grudge the Manland before blockers. Which means that Weinberg's going to have to jump with the Ornithopter, and he will not have lethal on his turn. So he was almost representing it for a second.
Yeah, and the thing
but
is,
no
like,
more.
No matter, you have to block everyone at this point because no matter who you don't block,
You know what would be sweet
you
here?
just put the counters
Fog.
on.
Just
Did you say
one green.
fog?
Yeah, just fog. Fog you.
Glimmer Void, no
Yeah.
damage. Is that game?
Untap win. It'd be hot, you have to admit it.
Oh yeah, that'd be the tech. But then we'd have to look at his deck list and be like, there's no fog in the sideboard.
Pardon me. You know what card I want to be in Modern that isn't?
Tell me.
The Fog with Flashback.
Moment's Peace?
Yeah, it was like a
Yeah.
set or two before Modern.
That card was
I missed that
excellent.
card.
That
I
card
missed
was an
that
odyssey.
and Cabal Therapy. They should make Modern like one block backwards.
One
or
block
two blocks.
without the modern.
Two blocks.
Okay. 3 blocks.
Then we would get the Onslaught fetches, and we would get get
Yeah.
Cabal Therapy and
I
stuff.
don't know. I feel like we don't need the Onslaught fetches. That seems greedy. You're being greedy right now.
I think they should reprint the Onslaught fetches. That way,
I actually have a feeling they might.
we would have fetches back in Standard, and it would make them more affordable.
Yeah.
Adam Yurchick going for the kill here. Oh my God! Dismember in response, and
just win? Did Ben
that's
just
the win.
win?
Ben Weinberg just won the
Wow.
game.
I did not see that coming at all. Adam Yurchick, you. Well, he's still day 2, so that's fine. But like,
Still in the day 2.
holy
at
smokes,
X and
I did
2.
not see that coming from Ben.
Right. Very well played game.
Yes.
He could have cranial plating last turn and not had lethal,
No.
but instead he like left open mana for that
Yeah,
dismember.
For the dismember.